Hi, Caleb from Brownells here. Back again with Cole from GBRS Group, and today we're talking about mounts.
Yeah. So we have two versions, basically a multi-accessory mount and a single. Obviously, big differences are the multi is you have your red dot and your laser, and then the single you just have your red dot. All raised at a 291 optic center. So if you want the magnifier, basically this will align up with the optic and magnify the red dot. Also, with the multi, it frees up rail space, allows for better recoil management, and it really centers the weight over the mag well. So, not sure how much you spend time with lasers and all that. Like, we had a lot of weight over the front end, and so it brings it more to a balanced gun.
Okay, yeah, and I mean that makes complete sense, especially if you run your gun a lot with a bunch of stuff on it. You know how important that balance can definitely be. And real quick, just to kind of hash on the mounts themselves, what all red dots will they fit?
So we have a few different ones. One we call kind of the Hydra aimpoint T2 micro. So really any optic that has that screw pattern. Yep. The same screw pattern as a T2, and really that base height too. Right. There's a lot of red dots that have higher bases, like this new one, the aimpoint duty RDS with the multi-reticle. That base is a lot higher. So one is the aimpoint T2. This one's the duty RDS that allows for that height of the lower body, so it still maintains a 291. We reference the EOTech XPS and EXPS. So really anything that'll connect onto Picatinny, but we use those two variants just because of those base heights again. Because the EXPS has about a 1/4 inch higher on the base, right? Vice XPS a little bit a 1/4 inch lower. So we're really trying to keep that at 291 so the magnifier lines up with it. So like the Vortex UH1, the SIG Romeo 8T, all those will fit within those models. Okay, excellent. So, I mean, there's Hollow Suns, Vortex, a number of them. So anything with that kind of pattern.
All right, and
I won't forget Trijicon MRO as well.
MRO.
That's specific to the MRO.
Right. Yep. And with all that being said, let's talk about that height. So some people will say, "Man, that's way higher than what we're used to using." Yeah.
So height's not new. It's been, like we talked about, it's been being used for, since I'll say at least the early 80s when they would put the original kind of aimpoint red dots on the carrying handle. Yep. About the same height. There's a number of different platforms, I'll say, that they've been running LPVOs like the Bullpup. Mm-hmm. When you really break that down, although the design doesn't look as high, the height over bore is. Right. So go back to originally when you put red dots on the rail, there's still a height over bore. Granted, it's not as drastic, but when you sight these in, whether it's 25, 36, 50, 100, it all boils down, you just have to know your hold-offs. There's a bunch of other great mounts that still have some sort of height difference, and you just have to know your hold-offs, whether you're up close within 5, 10 yards, or you're shooting out 100 plus yards. We really did some content a little while ago sighting in these red dots at 25, 36, and 50, and then shooting targets 100 to 300 just to see the difference of point of aim, point of impact. And again, it boils down to just knowing your sight in. Okay, yeah, and so the moral of the story is just know your sight in. No, like any gun you pick up, right? Yeah. Whether it be a high mount like this, a low mount, whatever, you're still going to need to know your holds. Yep, right. Absolutely. There's no magic height that is infinite. No. But wait, something we also talked a little bit about in the studio was the practicality as far as getting it up that high for awareness and additional gear you may be wearing. Yeah. So I'll say even an entry-level person that's buying their first rifle with a mount and a red dot, it allows more for a heads-up presentation display. So you used to have to lean your cheek over, kind of lean into that red dot. Now you just bring that red dot right up to your eye line. So it gives, again, more awareness, but quicker sight acquisition, as well kind of getting more into law enforcement, GovMil LE, able to see through the gas mask, passively through night vision. But again, it's just a quicker sight acquisition. Yeah, and also there is a cheek riser for pretty much any Magpul stock, really? The MOE and CTR. Okay. Clicks right in. So we did that. So there's a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch height. So that individual user could figure out whichever height they liked, especially long neck people. Right. But with the raised up optic height, you lose that cheek touch point. So what we're trying to really do is accomplish that individual could still maintain that cheek touch point when they're looking at the red dot and have that familiarity. And also it allows with the buttstock fully collapsed, you can still operate your charging handle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nice. Excellent. All right, so let's do a little bit of a demonstration.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's show them what's going on.
All right. So big things you'll notice with our mounts, you're used to, like, when you draw, having to put your head down.
Right.
But with these, if you kind of watch, as I come up, I'm bringing that red dot right up to my eye.
Right.
Like, I'm not doing this, because you're really changing two platforms and trying to have them in the middle, meet them in the middle by keeping one platform, your eyes straight, and bringing that red dot right up to your eye line.
Right. Okay.
So that's the biggest difference, no matter, again, whether entry level or super high end, you're able to bring that red dot right up to your eye line.
Yeah.
Granted, this is kind of fully loaded with, you got buttstock, magnifier, red dot, laser, switches, light, suppressor, all that. And it's still, you're able just to bring it right up. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. That makes perfect sense. So I'm gonna get out your way and let you do some more shooting.
Okay. So I know I kind of jumped into it too, but I like doing the same drills with pistol as I do rifle, usually coming up dry, getting that red dot up to my eye line before I kind of just jumped into it. But since...
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, it's pretty much the same, like, fundamental as far as presenting the red dot. Yeah.
It's always manipulating your safety, finger on the trigger. When you want to go on safety, finger on the trigger, unsafe, that sort of stuff. So I like to call it slow is smooth, smooth is fast. So as I move up, I prep that safety. So my thumb hits the safety, fingers prepping the trigger, that red dot comes up, and I'm able to get that first shot off.
Yeah.
So just maintaining that solid foundation, safety, finger, getting that shot up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I mean that, like, it's some of that I've never really, like, thought of in that way, just because, like, you train one way with the handgun, you train another way with the rifle. But especially whenever you have that different height distance, I mean, just bringing it up, that presentation to your eye, whether it be handgun, rifle, whatever, it's just so much more fluid.
You kind of hit on what we try and get rid of too, of, like, you have your style for pistol, you have your style for rifle,
Right.
but your body movements are still the same. So if you overlay how you draw a pistol and what your body does and the movement head, and vice a rifle, your head's never moving, you're always just bringing that red dot up to your eye line.
Yeah, and that's I mean, I know I keep saying it, but that makes a lot of sense. You know, do a shot every time I say that makes a lot of sense throughout this video. Yep. But yeah, that's great, and I really appreciate you coming out, showing us through this. And we need to. All I know now is I need to train more. After watching you do that, so I gotta stay on the range. All right, so if you have any questions, comments, feel free to post them down below. As always, if you need help with anything for any reason ever, feel free to give us a call on the tech line. We'll be happy to help you out. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks.